Now, I did mention in a previous video that unlike Dustborn, Concord was actually meant to be popular. The people who created this game were delusional enough in order to believe that it will sell. And it didn't, right? It's got abysmal numbers. I wonder if it actually managed to beat Gollum in numbers of concurrent players. But anyway, a lot of individuals are pointing out that these Sony studios are now trying to push for the game, and they're believing that this is Sony doing damage control. They're like, oh crap, like the game isn't selling at all. Let's get all of our studios in order to push it. And this is not necessarily true because Sony does this all the time. And this is something from the Japanese mindset. I see a lot of Japanese creators, they have these things they call circles. And they're independent creators. They produce works all the time. And sometimes the circles associate with each other, especially if they're creating something around the same theme, or around the same genre, if they have the same audience. And when one of them creates a manga or a doujin or something like that, all the others start promoting it. But the thing with the Japanese circles is that if one of them creates something that's really bad, whether it's bad quality, they didn't put an effort, or the story is incredibly controversial and the market is reacting negatively to it, or simply the game is just incredibly bad that it doesn't get sales, the other circles will not promote it. And it's understandable. It's like, look, it's our reputation on the line. Like, we're fine with promoting your work, but at least do something worthy of a 5. You know, if you can't do a 10, that's fine, but at least a 5. Not a 2 or a 3, which is what Concord seems to be. And it's objective. Like, people are genuinely are not interested in this game. They are not playing it. So there's no, like, oh, well, subjectively or trying to spin it around. It simply just doesn't apply here. So no, this is not Sony freaking out and getting all the studios to do something extraordinary. They do this all the time for all their major releases. It's just that now it's obvious how fake all of this is. Because again, when you're reading at what they're saying, it's like, oh, we're playing with our friends and blah, blah, blah. It seems like they're genuinely hyped up about the game, and this is not just part of a promotional material. What is interesting, though, is looking at the gaming press, I have seen many articles with people begging gamers to give Concord a chance. And you have, like, video game journalists on Twitter saying, oh, I've been playing this game and it's actually amazing. Or just the cope, it's like, oh, well, maybe the price is too much. It's like $40 and, you know, there's other games coming out and this is why people aren't buying it. So basically, like, literally every single reason than what gamers are saying. And gamers are pointing it out right here in the comment section. Like, you don't have to go in many places in order to figure out why people aren't buying it. And one of the things that people are saying is the interesting choice in character presentation. Like, none of these characters are oozing with that rich diversity that Concord is known for. They keep posting the white guy on the box. Like, in every single promotion, they're desperately craving for showing the white guy. Now, the reason this is controversial and it's hilarious is because when the game was announced, people pointed out immediately that there are almost no straight white men in the game. And, you know, like, it's fine. Like, I can play a game without a straight white man. Like, I can play Tomb Raider just fine. In fact, one of my favorite games used to be Shadow Warrior. Like, I don't need a white guy in the game. But I know the reason they went out of their way to make sure that a straight white guy isn't included. And why? That's why I don't want to support them, right? Because they're racist. They're mean people. They are mean-spirited with a mean ideology that comes from California. And I don't need to fund it with my money. The left does the same. You know, like when J.K. Rowling releases a new product, even if it's like the best product on earth, they will not support it. In fact, the left does even more. They go around and harass VTubers and shit. I don't harass anyone. I just don't buy it. So, basically, they're not showing any of their, you know, very diverse cast. Like, they're not showing this on the box for some reason. Even though it is included, right? You only get to see these characters on the box because this is what they know sells. Like, they are aware of what the market wants. They are conscientious of what the customer would pay for. And when putting it on the box or when making a commercial, like, they will go with the thing that it's going to sell. But they also have to include this, and it begs the question, like, why do you have this if you know that people aren't interested? Like why did you add this if you're not going to put it on the box? Why do you have this if it's not going to be in any of the advertisements? Right? That is fascinating, because now you get to see the difference between understanding what the market wants and also understanding what the investor wants. And unfortunately, it should be the same. Like, the investors should want what the market wants, because the investor should be like, okay, we're going to make this product, it's going to sell, and in return, we're going to make a lot of money. But now the investors are like, no, this is our ideology, we're going to force it on the market. And if we can somehow influence most of the major studios, if we can influence most of the gaming press to push the same ideology that people don't want, eventually people will have no choice but to buy our product and be exposed to the ideology nonstop and constantly. But unfortunately for them, we have China, we have Japan, we have South Korea, we have other countries that are producing different types of works. Like, we have Elden Ring, we have Wukong, we have Stellar Blade, we have like many other countries that are showing, no, like, this is what the gamer actually wants. It's very simple. You guys have done it in 2010 all the way up until 2018. I don't know why you guys stopped. I don't know why you guys decided to go against the market. But we're just going to do what you guys used to do back in the past. We're not just as good yet. We haven't reached the level of Mass Effect and Dragon Age, but we're getting close. We're getting close there, and it seems that people are showering us with cash. It seems that people can't stop buying our games. And this is the reality. And until they decide to realize that, okay, well, the reason this isn't selling is because we are stuck in our ideological ways and we refuse to listen to what the customer wants, they're still going to cater to that modern audience, which seems to be around 400, maybe 500 concurrent players. Like, seriously, there needs to come a time when you realize that if the people shitting on your product are getting 100 times more engagement than the product itself, then maybe you have a problem. Like it's fine to push for propaganda. It's fine to try to promote an ideology, but at least get some competent people to do it. Because what you are doing is just not working. It can be like what you consider to be the best propaganda in the universe, but if people aren't exposed to it, if people don't buy it, then it's just wasted money. It's just wasted cash. And I do think that there will come a point when even the investors realize, okay, well, what we're doing isn't working. We have to change tactics. So far, it seems that they're trying to buy Japanese companies. They're trying to influence them, and it is working. I mean, when it comes to video games, Capcom, Square Enix, a lot of Japanese companies are starting to toe the line with the diversity, inclusivity, and equity. But then what do you do with China and South Korea? Like, are you going to buy them as well? And even so, like, by that time, you're going to have just new indie companies rising up in the West because all of the AAA companies will go broke. Like, this is not sustainable. You cannot do this forever. I mean, sure, you get games like Dustborn that leeches off the taxpayer money. But even the taxpayer money and the grants are finite. Like, they cannot just fund an infinite number of games that no one wants to play. Eventually, like, even they have to be held accountable for where the money is going. So anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.